vaccine. Next, coming on to the schedule per se. So at birth you have the 3 vaccines that are given: the BCG vaccine, the OPV vaccine, and the hepatitis B birth dose that is given. So we've already studied the BCG is given intradermally. The only 2 vaccines that are given intradermally are BCG and the FIPV, which is given intradermally. OPV, O for oral, and also one more name for OPV is Sabin, right? So in for ingestion, so oral. And hepatitis B, as we have already just now studied, it is intramuscular route. Okay, so intramuscular route. So this is the routes of administration. So coming on to the sites of administration, I think we will discuss it a bit later. For now, we'll just study when. So we have studied how it is given. Now we are studying what is the timeline, that is when it is given, what are the vaccines that are given, and again repeating the routes of administration, right? So those 3 things: how, what, and when, we are repeating that, right? So then coming on to the 6th week, 10th week, and 14th week. So what are the vaccines that are given during this timeline? So we have the pentavalent. Remember, we are giving the pentavalent during the 6th, 10th, and 14th week. So in similar lines, remember that there are 5 vaccines, broadly speaking 5 vaccines that are there that you are going to give during the 6th, 10th, and 14th week. That is OPV, pentavalent, rotavirus, pneumococcal, and the IPV. Though in actual, pentavalent in turn consists of 5 components in it. So but to see as such, it is having 5 things, right? So OPV, pentavalent, rotavirus, and the PCV, and the FIPV. So just remember that. So 5 penta is there in 6, 10, and 14 weeks. So there are 5 things that you have to remember in 6, 10, and 14 weeks. So what are those 5 things? So those 5 things are your OPV 1, 2, 3, pentavalent 1, 2, 3, then you have the rotavirus 1, 2, 3. So these are 1, 2, 3. OPV 1, 2, 3, pentavalent 1, 2, 3, and rotavirus 1, 2, 3. Next, only 1, 2. That is your pneumococcal vaccine 1, 2, and FIPV, that is fractional inactivated polio vaccine, that is 1, 2. Okay, so the ones that are given 1, 2, 3 are given at all 3 weeks, that is timelines, that is 6th and 10th and 14th week, whereas ones that are given as 1 and 2, that is pneumococcal and FIPV, are given only at 6th and 14th week. Okay, remember that. So coming on to the route of administration, oral, the OPV is given through oral route, the pentavalent is given through intramuscular route, and the rotavirus, as we have studied, it is given through oral route. Amongst the 3 vaccines that are given orally, you have the OPV and you have the rota, as well as the vitamin A that you will be studying in a while. Then the pneumococcal is given again through intramuscular route. FIPV, however, is given through intradermal route, right? So this was about the vaccines that are given during the 6, 10, and 14th week. Coming on to the 9, 12, and 18 to 24 months. So for our ease of understanding, let's take it as 1 year and 2 year. So these 2 things are common here, that is the MR and JE. So even not only the timeline that is similar, but even the routes of administration, as we have studied, is similar, that is the subcutaneous route. So MR1, JE1 at 9 to 12 months or 1 year, and then you have the at 2 years, that is MR2, JE2. Basically you can remember it in this form also, that is at 1 year what is the milestone of the during the developmental milestone of the child that develops in the gross motor development. So it is child will be able to stand. So the child that is able to stand will get this MR1 and JE1. So at 2 years the child will be able to run. So it will be able to run. So the child which is running will get additional upgradation. So that is MR2 and JE2. Okay, just correlating between things. If you want to remember it in that way, it is left to your choice. Remember it in any way you wanted to remember, but this makes it easier, I suppose, in correlating things. Okay, so this is how you will remember these 2 vaccines here. Then once you have given the primary doses, you have to give the booster, right? So you will give the PCV booster during 9 to 12 months, and you have given DPT in the pentavalent, and you have given OPV. So boosters have to be given there also. So for the PCV, you have already given the booster during 9 to 12 months. For OPV, you will give it during your 2 years. That is nothing but 18 to 24 months. You will give the OPV booster. And DPT booster 1 is going to be given during 18 to 14 months. Okay. So this is the timeline. So first PCV booster you are going to give. So how will you remember it? So you have given only 1 and 2 doses, right? So you will give the booster early. Okay, you will give the booster early. Whereas for pentavalent and OPV, you have given 3 doses. So you will give booster a little later. Okay, DPT booster 1, OPV booster. Right. So next timeline is the 5 to 6 year timeline. 5 to 6 year timeline, you are only going to give the DPT booster, only one thing. Okay, so after 2 years though timeline, you are only giving one vaccines, okay, in each of the timeline. So 5 to 6 years, the DPT booster to 10 years, you will give the TD, 16 years, again you will give the TD. Okay, so again this is intramuscular route, and again this is intramuscular route, and this is intramuscular route. Okay, so I think I have mentioned here also, this is subcutaneous, the MR and JE subcutaneous. PCV, as we already talked about, PCV booster is also intramuscular. DPT pentavalent was intramuscular, so DPT will also be, booster will also be intramuscular, and OPV, it is OPV booster is oral, right? That is to be